Hello everybody, this is FC7, and unfortunately anniversary time is coming to an end soon, but before it does end, what I want to do is go through a quest here that I feel is really important. It is a legendary 6th anniversary scavenger hunt, which gives you an unbelievable 10 charges at 30 minutes each of double experience. You can only do it once in your character's lifetime, but I know there's a lot of people out there with alts or starting new characters, so let's get started. I will be going through this quest using my druid. He's level 108. He's never done this quest before. There's actually 3 quest givers that give the same quest, but I'm going to be using the one in the over there, and I'll show you exactly where he's located from where you zone in from the plane of knowledge. So here he is, Velnaz to Lav. Now if you're unsure if you've done this quest before, just check your achievements window and it should tell you if you've done this, have it completed. This quest did come out quite some time ago, 2005. So after you go through his dialogue, he'll give you a collection bag and a collector's cheat sheet. And I'll just show you what happens when you click on the cheat sheet here. It gives you this information. It's actually 2 pages to it. Now then, instead of trying to figure out the cheats for yourself, I have them on the screen. There are 10 items in total. You'll need to go to each of these zones and collect these items. You'll combine the items and then hand them back to Velnaz in the over there. And since we're in the over there, we'll start with the Sarnax and try to collect a collector Sarnak Warbraid. So since I'm on my druid, I can have tracking. I'll use tracking to try to find a Sarnak. There's one. Now I'll just stop and try to kill this Sarnak and see if he drops the collector Sarnak braid. And sure enough, there is a collector Sarnak Warbraid. And just make sure that it says collectors in front of it, because there's also items that drop that do not have the collectors word in front of it, and that's not the one you need. It has to say collectors. So here we are in Frontier Mountains, and again, this is classic Kunark. It's not from the latest expansion, Ring of Scale. So we'll just see if these mountain giants will drop the Stump. And sure enough, there it is. So we'll just collect that and on to the next zone. I'll just loot this here. Next zone will be in the Dreadlands. And you'll need to collect the collector's Drachnid Websack. They drop from any spider model. Scary looking spiders. Make sure not to get too scared when you're doing this quest, because spiders are kind of creepy. Alright, so we'll just get as many spiders here as we can, and I'll just AE them down. So we'll see what happens here. Get these Drachnids to drop the part we need. So try these 3. And there it is. Just loot this and be on to the next zone, which will be FV, which is right next to the Dreadlands. You'll want to find the Droll Vargs and get the Collector's Canine. And that's these geez, I don't even know what you could call them. A Wolfman? These guys? Hairy Dogmen with horns? But anyways, we'll get the item drop here. These are they're scattered throughout the zone, mostly towards the entrance to Swamp of Nohope. So if you look up in that area, if you're not a tracking class, they're mostly just wandering around. Sometimes there'll be a small camp of them. So, and there we go. Got one to drop. On to the next zone. And luckily, Lake of Ill Omen is right next to FV. And the item you'll need to get is a collector's Bloodgill scale. But in order to find the Bloodgills, it's kind of complicated. Well, it's not really complicated. You just have to go out in the middle of the lake, and just having a map helps, and just go underneath the water. When you get to around the middle of the lake, be towards the entrance to Iksar. So just go underneath the water here, find the Bloodgills, and they should drop. This one's always been easy for my my characters. So it's these swimming blue fishmen looking things. And I think we got one, so let's move on to the next zone, which is the Swamp of Nohope. And you need Nohope moss, collector's Nohope moss. And I found, just going to the Frogloks city, you can just go up there and just destroy the entire city here, and you should get a moss no problem. Be sure to find the ramp, because it's hard to get up here without using the ramp. I tried to levitate up, and I don't have a pair of Rocketeer boots on this character, so I had to find the ramp to come up here. And there we go. Just collect the moss. Now on to the Field of Bone, and this is just zoning in from the Plane of Knowledge. You'll need to collect the Brittle Iksar skull, the collector's Brittle Iksar skull. So just get any skeleton, and there it is. And because you're so close to Kurn's tower, just from the Field of Bone, just go right to Kurn's. Go through the pit, and I'm sure everybody knows where Kurn's is, right there. So just zone in, and you'll need to find some of these Excavator claws, but they're in the basement area. The mob that drops them is the Burynai Excavator. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's these guys. They look like panda bears. And they don't drop too often from the guys up top. You have to go in the basement area to get a reliable drop rate. But just kill as many of those as possible, and there you go. Now on to Warsliks Woods. And of all the parts in this quest, this was probably the most challenging for me in the past, because the drop rate seems to be lower for this Iksar witch doll. It takes a lot of goblin kills. If you look on my map on the screen, this is where I actually had it drop. We'll just go into this goblin fort, and it looks like there's somebody here. It's probably bottlenecked. It's probably gone, so I'll just get this guy quick. And I guess I got extremely lucky here because it was the first drop. So we'll just get out of here before he finds out that I'm in his camp. Okay, so on to the Burning Woods. to collect the Collector's Fire Hornet Wing. Burning Woods, home of the classic meme, of course, about burned woods. People know what that is. Very funny story. But anyways, enough of that. Gotta get the Hornets to get this item to drop, so just find as many Hornets as possible. In this case, it dropped off of an Ash Hornet, so we'll just collect that. And the quest is pretty much finished. Just gate back to the Plane of Knowledge and do the combine. So put all the items in your collection bag, hit combine, and now you just need to hand that in, and you'll get the double experience potion. And you'll also get an achievement, so you get both of those. And I found it very handy just to keep this potion for when you have a group that is doing really good and they plan on staying a long time. It's also good for level increases if you want to use it then. So that should just about do it for this quest. Be sure to do it before May 10th if possible, because that is when the quest is supposed to end.